Hello, class. It's Professor Roberts here. And today we're going to review the policy speech, the requirements, and how to submit. Hope everyone is having a wonderful week so far. Let's go ahead and begin. So you see on my screen that I have a copy of your outline, and I provided the outline within Canvas, and you can find this within the module and within the outline upload page. I'm going to show you some of the elements of the policy speech and the goals of the policy speech. Now, this is an asynchronous course, meaning that both this speech and debate will be done by you uploading your presentations via YouTube and following this outline and submitting the outline. As you notice, we have the heading, the course, and the date. That's self-explanatory. You can go ahead and fill that out. But beneath the heading will be a YouTube link. Now, because we're submitting our speeches via YouTube, you'll record it on your device, either your laptop or cell phone, and upload to YouTube. It's your choice if you want to make it public or unlisted. I just need the link. Now, mind you, if I cannot access the link or if it's not available, then you'll receive a temporary zero. I say a temporary zero because I'll notify you that you've received zero because I cannot send the link and cannot view the video. And I'll give you a chance to define a situation and send me a proper link, and then I will view the video, upload your grade. So if you see zero, do not be alarmed. I will let you know that, hey, there's something going on with the link, or I cannot view the video, and then you'll have a chance to review it and resubmit. So I reserve that just in case there's something that happens with the YouTube link. So that's what that space is reserved for you to send to copy and paste your YouTube link. I'll go ahead and click it and review your video. Now, as we scroll down, we have the outline. Now, the outline contains headings and instructions. It's very important for you to maintain and retain the headings. For example, introduction, attention getter, thesis statement, finance connection, A, B, and C. We have our Roman numerals and letters and numbers. The reason being is that while I'm reviewing your speech, I will be looking at your outline simultaneously, just as if we were face to face, and I will see if you are speaking at the places that you indicated on the outline. An easy way for you to achieve this is by taking off my instructions and just typing your information. Simple as that. Make sure to keep it in outline format. However, because this is a speech outline, you are required to complete this in full sentences. First, we have the intention getter. So you can ask a question, put in the factor or stat. If you do so, make sure to verbally cite your source and insert that source into the outline. Or ask a rhetorical question, or tell a short story. It's the first thing you say at the very beginning. Next, you have your thesis statement or overview. You have the option to switch these if you like, or you can maintain this order. So some of us like to talk about the audience connection in part B and put the thesis at part C. As long as I have all the elements, that's fine. Now, in one or two sentences, you're going to give the main idea of your topic and argument. Because this is a policy speech, we are going to give a presentation of a situational or a situation where there's an issue in society or organizational issue. Next, we have the audience connection. So you want to tell the audience why is this particular societal issue important. Like I said before, you can put your thesis in part C and or the audience connection in part B. But you want to make sure you have the attention getter, thesis, and audience connection labeled and available for credit on the instruction. Next up, we have the body section. So the body section is already labeled for you, and it's your job to figure out how you're going to fill out the information and discuss the societal issue that you chose. So for example, we have the background information on the topic, explanation of the topic or stance, or mentioning of opposing viewpoint. For instance, if you've completed an persuasive speech and other speech courses or completed an argumentation paper, some of those elements are still there. We're trying to paint a big picture and explain thoroughly about this societal issue. In addition, talk about the opposing viewpoints to help strengthen our argument. So we're acknowledging the other viewpoints, and we're also giving our explanation of why our stance is correct. So part A, you're going to give background information about the topic. For example, you can add research, add more details, descriptions, and scenarios about the topic at hand. Next, we have explanation of the topic stance. So that's when we go from a more informative lens to a more persuasive lens. And you're going to talk about your personal position about the topic you're discussing. And finally, you're going to give the opposing viewpoint. No matter what side of the persuasive spectrum we're on, there's usually someone on the opposite end of that spectrum. So what you'll do, you'll talk about the opposing viewpoint, but you will also talk about its flaws in reasoning, any fallacies, or just reasons why this stance is incorrect. And you can also emphasize why your stance is correct or your course of action is correct. If you want to add a fourth additional point, maybe explaining your point of view a little bit more, tying things in, there is space for you to do that in this section. This is optional, so you don't need to develop a fourth point if you don't want to. Finally, we have the conclusion. So what the conclusion is a recap of your main points and main ideas, and it can also mirror, I'm going to scroll up here slowly, the thesis statement. So for example, I talk about in the thesis, today I want to inform you about how the rental and home prices are created in a housing crisis in California. And I also want to persuade you to take a stand against rising costs of housing in this state. I can provide a recap by saying, today I just explained the housing crisis in Southern California and how it affects its citizens. It can be a brief recap and then your final statement. Your final statement can use some of the techniques that we use from the attention getter, such as ending with a question, or if you began with a question, you can answer that question at the very end, or you can have a final thought that you want us to have as an audience. Now the grade breakdown is here. Each outline by itself is worth 50 points. And the presentation grade, which of course you're going to present on YouTube, that's its own separate points. So these are two separate points, although I do need the outline to see what the organization of your presentation is, and I will be looking at that while I look at your video. But of course, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll also have a Zoom meeting later on that will be announced where you can ask questions in real time. And of course, by via appointment, I'm in my office on Tuesdays. I will be back in my office on Thursdays in a couple of weeks. But it can also be by appointment as well. And if you are seeing this at a different semester. My days are usually the same, but those days in my office hours may vary, so check the syllabus for any questions. Next, I want to show you where can you submit your assignments. Now, like I mentioned before, the policy speech, the requirements and the goals are right here. You will present for 3 to 6 minutes. The outlines were 50 points. So because Canvas requires me to create 2 separate grades for these 2 separate assignments, there will not be a submission for the presentation part. That is a way for me to tell you what the presentation is about, and it provides a placeholder in the grade book for me to put those points in. You'll submit your speech link, copy and paste it on your outline, and that's what you're going to submit to me. I have it on student view so I can see what you see. If I did not, you will be seeing the back end instructional view of Canvas. So you want to make sure to complete your outline. And as you see here, I have a rubric here and I'm able to break down what the requirements are. I break them down in several sections with the introduction, body, conclusion, and delivery. So delivery is slightly different in asynchronous and virtual courses because you can sit down, look at your camera, make sure you're speaking as clearly and loudly into your microphone as possible, and just make sure that you're understood and your room is well lit. And if there are any comments or any discrepancies, I will use both the rubric and comments to give you feedback. Now I also have, let me go back a little bit, the policy speech outline. So I have the link here. In addition to the outline itself, you're going to provide a bibliography. You're going to provide 3 outside sources. Cannot be Wikipedia, but it can be books, videos, scholarly journals, and the like. And I also provided a rubric for this too, so I'm able to grade on the same elements such as introduction, body, conclusion. But instead of delivery, there's also format, so just making sure it's an outline format, full sentences, and then we have documentation. So you can use the MLA or APA format for your bibliography, and I'm also looking for those in-text citations. For your presentation, you also want to cite those sources verbally as well. So there's 3 times you're going to cite those sources verbally in your presentation, within your bibliography documentation section, and in text citations within the outline. You will upload here, and with your submission, I will be able to see it as a PDF. Mind you, if you are using Apple or Dot Pages, it will not read Dot Pages, so you want to convert that to a rich text format, RTF, or Word if you can. If you're using Google Docs, same thing. Do not send me a link to your Google Docs. I will not open it, and it will be temporary 0, and I will return it back to you until I get the format that I need. So with that being said, with Google Docs, you can go ahead and convert that to a Word, PDF file, or RTF file, which stands for Rich Text Format. So I'll go ahead and put it towards the outline. So that's the overall information what I'm expecting. You present for 3 to 6 minutes. There will be points deducted if it's drastically shorter or drastically longer, so make sure to stay within that time frame. The goal of this presentation is to get you set up with the skill set you will need for our virtual debates. With our virtual debates, I'll also provide a video in addition to the directions and the outlines. However, that will be towards the end of the semester. Thank you so much for joining me this semester, and I hope you're having a good semester and enjoying the course. And as always, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.